Taylor Swift sat alone at table 7, surrounded by the shimmering lights of Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco's wedding in Santa Barbara. Golden fairy lights glowed beneath the white tents that swayed gently in the ocean breeze. Around her, nearly 200 guests, some of Hollywood's biggest names, were laughing, toasting, and dancing to celebrate the newlyweds. Everyone looked radiant, everyone except her. Her phone lay face down on the white linen tablecloth, screen dark, silent. Every few minutes, Taylor glanced at it, hoping for a message that never came. Travis Kelce was supposed to be here with her. They had RSVP'd months ago, back when the Chiefs' schedule still seemed flexible, back when Travis promised he could make it work. But the NFL season had begun, and tomorrow's game against the Denver Broncos was too important to miss. For Travis, football had always come first, even tonight. "Are you okay, honey?" Paris Hilton leaned over from the next table, her diamond earrings catching the candlelight. Taylor forced a smile, the kind she'd perfected through years of red carpets and interviews. "I'm fine, just taking it all in." "Selena looks so beautiful tonight." Paris didn't look entirely convinced. But she reached over and gave Taylor's hand a gentle squeeze before turning back to her table. Across from her, Ashley Park had been sending Taylor sympathetic glances all evening. Everyone could see it. The sadness she tried to hide behind polite smiles and champagne sips. This was supposed to be a night of joy, celebrating her best friend's forever love. Instead, Taylor felt like she was standing behind glass, watching everyone else's happiness from the outside. The empty chair beside her mocked her with its silence. Travis's name card still sat untouched on the plate, a painful reminder of everything she wished he'd chosen differently. While Taylor sat under the glowing lights of the California coast, Travis Kelce was pacing his living room in Kansas City, his mind miles away from the playbook spread across his coffee table. The TV murmured quietly in the background, commentators dissecting tomorrow's crucial game against the Broncos, but he couldn't focus on a single word. Every time he blinked, he saw her. Taylor, sitting alone at that wedding table, pretending to be fine while everyone else celebrated love. Jason Kelce had already called him twice that evening. "Bro, are you seriously not going?" Jason's voice was firm but laced with disbelief. "I can't, Jay. Coach needs me. It's a divisional game. I can't just leave." "You're making a mistake," Jason shot back. "You think one game will matter 20 years from now? Or will you remember the night you let the woman you love sit alone because of football?" Travis fell silent. The words hit him harder than any defensive tackle ever could. For a few minutes, he tried to shake it off, reviewing plays, scrolling through messages from teammates. But then his phone buzzed again. A new notification, Taylor Swift's Instagram story. His thumb trembled as he opened it. There she was, standing by the ocean in a midnight blue gown, her hair catching the wind, her smile soft but not quite real. The caption read, "Celebrating love tonight." That was the breaking point. Travis stared at the screen and something inside him snapped. "What the hell am I doing?" he muttered under his breath. He grabbed his phone and dialed Patrick Mahomes. "Pat, I need your help. Right now." "Trav, what's going on?" "We've got film review in the morning." "I know. But if I don't get to Santa Barbara tonight?" "A loser." There was silence for a beat, and then Patrick laughed softly. "You're insane, man. But screw it, I'll cover for you. Go get your girl." 45 minutes later, Travis was in an Uber to the airport, his Chiefs warm-up jacket thrown over the only suit he could find. He didn't have a plan. Just a heartbeat pushing him forward and one thought repeating in his head. She deserves someone who shows up. Back in Santa Barbara, the wedding was in full swing. The champagne flowed, the music pulsed, and laughter filled the glowing tent. Ed Sheeran had taken the stage with his guitar, performing an acoustic set as a surprise gift for Selena and Benny. Guests crowded the dance floor. Paris Hilton twirling with Patrick Schwarzenegger, Martin Short cracking jokes with Steve Martin, while Taylor sat back at table 7. Her smile polite but fading fast. She had forced herself to dance earlier, smiling through the loneliness as cameras flashed and friends cheered. But when Ed began to sing Thinking Out Loud, That song about growing old together, the kind that hits differently when you're alone. Taylor's chest tightened. She quietly excused herself and returned to her seat, picking up her half-empty glass of champagne. Then her phone began to ring. For a second, she just stared at it, afraid to hope. But there it was, Travis Kelce glowing across the screen. Her heartbeat kicked up instantly. She hesitated, afraid he'd hear the sadness in her voice. But her hand moved before she could stop it. "Hey," she whispered. "Hey, baby," came his voice, breathless, warm, but different. It wasn't the exhausted tone she expected. There was urgency in it, life, emotion. "I miss you so much," she said softly, her voice breaking. "This wedding is beautiful, but it's not the same without you." "I know, Tay, and I'm so sorry," Travis replied, his voice uneven, like he was moving fast, maybe even running. "I should have been there. I should have been there from the start." Taylor blinked back tears. "It's okay, Trav, I get it. The game's important. I knew what I signed up for." "No," he interrupted, his tone suddenly firm, raw. "The game isn't more important. You are. This is us, being there for each other when it matters. I've been sitting here for 3 hours pretending football means more than you, and I can't lie to myself anymore. You're my priority," her breath caught. He sounded so sure, so real, that it made her heart ache in the best way. "I love you," she whispered. "I love you too," he said, "and that's why I need you to do something for me." Her brow furrowed. "Anything. Look at the entrance." "What?" "Just trust me, baby." "Look at the door." Taylor slowly turned, her pulse pounding. The crowd noise faded, replaced by the sound of her own heartbeat. Conversation stopped. Heads turned. Paris Hilton's jaw dropped. Steve Martin froze mid-step. Selena stopped dancing, because standing at the entrance, hair tousled, face flushed, wearing a hastily buttoned suit under his Chiefs warm-up jacket, was Travis Kelce. Their eyes met across the room, and everything else disappeared. For a split second, the world went utterly still. Taylor's phone was still pressed to her ear, but she could barely breathe. The man she had been aching for all night, the one she thought was 2,500 miles away, was standing right there in front of her, Travis Kelce. Flushed, breathless, heart wide open. His voice came through the phone, low and urgent. "I couldn't let you sit there alone tonight. I couldn't let you think for even a second that a football game mattered more than you." The room had gone silent, every guest frozen in disbelief. Taylor's legs moved before her brain caught up. 1 second she was standing at table 7, and the next she was running, actually running, across the dance floor in her heels, weaving between tables and startled celebrities. "Travis!" She gasped as she threw herself into his arms. He caught her effortlessly, wrapping her up in a tight embrace, holding her like he'd never let go again. She buried her face in his neck, tears spilling freely, not caring about makeup or cameras or the 100 pairs of eyes watching. "You're here," she whispered against his shoulder. "You're really here." "I'm here," he breathed, pressing a kiss to her hair. "I'm so sorry I wasn't here sooner. I almost let the wrong things matter." She pulled back just enough to meet his eyes. "But the game? Coach Reed? The team will survive one practice without me," he said, a soft grin breaking through his exhaustion. "Patrick's covering. Coach understands. And if they didn't, I'd still be here." "Because you're my team, Tay. You're my everything." A murmur rippled through the crowd, then applause. Someone whooped. Ed Sheeran, still holding his guitar, had stopped playing mid-song, his eyes wide with wonder. And then the music swelled again, slower, gentler this time, as Travis leaned down and kissed her. The kiss wasn't staged or glamorous. It was raw and real, the kind that makes the whole world blur. For the first time that night, Taylor didn't have to fake her smile. Selena ran up, tears in her eyes, hugging them both. "I can't believe you came," she said to Travis. "She's everything," he replied simply, looking at Taylor like no one else existed. Benny laughed, shaking his head. "Man, you just made every husband in this room look bad." The tent erupted in applause and laughter. Guests were cheering, wiping away tears, clinking champagne glasses. It felt like the ending of a movie. One of those rare moments when real life dares to be more romantic than fiction. Travis shrugged off his chief's jacket, finally catching his breath, and someone handed him a napkin to wipe the sweat from his forehead. Taylor couldn't stop laughing through her tears, her hands trembling as she cupped his face like she was afraid he might disappear. But then something unexpected happened. Movement by the entrance again. Jason Kelce stepped in first, grinning proudly. Behind him came their mother, Donna Kelce, elegant as ever, holding a small clutch and smiling warmly. And just behind her were Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany, both looking a little stunned but thoroughly amused. "You brought backup?" Taylor said, half laughing, half crying. Travis grinned. "Well, the game's in 18 hours, so we've got about 12 to celebrate. Jason and Mom are staying as proper guests, but Pat and I are catching a red-eye back. I figured, if I was going to crash a wedding, I might as well bring the whole crew." Taylor burst out laughing, a pure, bright laugh that echoed through the tent. "You're insane." "Insane about you," he teased, and before anyone could say another word, he kissed her again. Right there, in front of all of Hollywood. The crowd went wild. Ed Sheeran strummed a few chords and transitioned seamlessly into Perfect. Paris Hilton started filming. Selena wiped her eyes again, and Benny Blanco shouted over the noise, "Kelce, you just raised the bar for every man in America." Travis chuckled, throwing an arm around Taylor. "Sorry, fellas. Standards are going up." From that point on, the night turned into something magical. Jason Kelce ended up doing the worm on the dance floor while Martin Short cheered him on. Donna Kelce got Ed Sheeran to take a selfie with her. Patrick Mahomes danced with Paris Hilton, who kept calling him QB1. But the real magic was in the small moments, the way Taylor and Travis never drifted apart for the rest of the night. He kept a hand on her back. She kept looking up at him like she still couldn't believe he was real. They danced to every slow song, held each other close during the cake cutting, and when Selena threw her bouquet, Travis lifted Taylor playfully so she could catch it, which she did, perfectly. The crowd roared. Later, as the night began to wind down and the stars hung low over the ocean, Selena found Taylor standing near the terrace, watching Travis joke with Jason by the bar. "You know what today taught me?" Selena asked softly, taking her best friend's hand. Taylor smiled. "What's that?" "That we both found it," Selena said. "The real thing. The kind of love that shows up even when it's hard, even when it costs something. The kind that chooses you every single time." Taylor followed her gaze back to Travis, his smile easy, his eyes warm, and nodded, her heart swelling. "Yeah," she whispered. "We really did." As the final song faded and the fairy lights dimmed, guests began to drift toward the exits, their laughter still echoing through the night air. Taylor and Travis lingered near the edge of the dance floor, hand in hand, unwilling to let go just yet. The Pacific breeze brushed against her hair, carrying the faint sound of waves from the beach below. Travis leaned closer, his voice low and warm against her ear. "I have to catch that red-eye in a couple hours," he said, though neither of them made a move to leave. Taylor nodded, pressing her forehead gently to his chest. "I know, just stay like this a little longer." He held her tighter, breathing her in, her perfume, her warmth, the quiet steadiness that always made him feel like the rest of the world could wait. "Thank you," she whispered after a moment, "for coming, for choosing me, for reminding me that love isn't just words. It's showing up." Travis tilted her chin up so their eyes met. "Always," he said. "That's who I want to be for you. No matter where I am, no matter what's on the line, you'll never have to wonder if I'll show up again." Taylor smiled, tears glimmering in her eyes. "No games, no excuses," she teased softly. He grinned, brushing a thumb across her cheek. "No missing moments. Just us." She laughed quietly, but before she could say anything else, he added, "You know, the next wedding we go to, I want it to be ours." Taylor's breath caught. "Travis Kelce," she said, pretending to scold him, though her voice was shaking. "Are you proposing to me right now?" He chuckled, kissing her forehead. "Not yet, but I'm putting it out into the universe. Watching you tonight, seeing you celebrate love like that, it made me realize I want to give you that same kind of day. I want to give you everything." She didn't reply, just wrapped her arms around him and held on, feeling the rhythm of his heartbeat under her palms, steady, sure, and entirely hers. And as the night ended and they finally walked away under the California stars, everyone around them could feel it too, that this wasn't just another love story. It was the beginning of something that would last. 6 months later, when Travis did propose, at a quiet dinner in their Kansas City home, he reminded her of that night. The wedding, the risk, the flight, and the choice that changed everything, because that was the night he proved that real love doesn't just speak, it shows up. Months after that unforgettable night, Taylor and Travis found themselves back in Santa Barbara, this time not for a wedding, but just for a quiet weekend away. The same ocean breeze carried the same soft scent of salt and jasmine. But this time, Taylor wasn't sitting alone at a table waiting for a phone call. She was standing barefoot on the sand, her hand tucked in his, watching the sunset melt into gold across the horizon. They didn't need music or a crowd or applause. Just the sound of waves and the comfort of knowing that the hardest choices had already been made. Travis glanced down at her, a smile tugging at his lips. "Crazy how one night can change everything, huh?" Taylor laughed softly. "It didn't just change everything," she said. "It showed us what love really means." He kissed her forehead, his voice low and certain. "Showing up?" "Always showing up," she replied, her eyes sparkling. And as the sky deepened from amber to violet, Taylor leaned into him, whispering with a playful smile, "You know, next time we come here, it might just be for our wedding." Travis chuckled, pulling her close. "Then I guess I better make sure I'm not late for that one." They laughed together, their silhouettes framed by the dying light. Two people who had learned that real love doesn't wait for perfect timing. It chooses you every time, no matter what it costs. The waves rolled in, soft and endless, carrying their laughter into the night, a promise written in salt and stars that love, when it's real, always finds its way home.